Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show. We are here. Gosh, we're doing episode 45. And if you're not familiar with the show, what we do is kind of like an old school radio show. It's audio only, there's no video here on the show. So it allows us to interact through voice, which is cool. Like I said, it's kind of like an old school radio show. Let's start off with the roll call, and we've got Kimberly in the house. Good evening, Kimberly. How are you doing? We've got Laura. Good evening, Laura. Kimberly, from what I understand in regards to the bowling alley, I think what's going to happen is most likely as soon as we are returned to the red level of the COVID-19 shelter in place situation, I think that's going to be when the bowling alley will open. And from what I've heard in the news, some counties in California were returned to the red level within I think it was today, just today or yesterday. So those counties are going to be able to do indoor dining with a reduced capacity. I think indoor gyms can return to doing business inside. What I've been hearing is there's going to be a number of additional counties that will be returned to the red status next week. So hopefully Alameda County will be in that list to return to the red category, I guess. And that will allow our restaurants to do some indoor dining, which is going to be great. I believe it's 25% indoor dining. I think it's the same for the indoor gyms, but I believe the bowling alley is in that criteria. So hopefully soon, Kimberly, you'll be able to go bowling again. Bob Wiseman in the house. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us. We're just doing the roll call here. Bob, I would never forget you. Bob, you are unforgettable. And I'm not going to start singing Nat King Cole because frankly, I can't. Good evening, Kathy. How are you? Hope you're doing well. What is up with the weather? This is crazy. We're in February, and February is supposedly supposedly our wettest in regards to rain, our wettest month. And here we are. I think some places in the Bay Area cracked the 80-degree mark. I heard on KCBS that there were, I think, 3 or 4 temperature records broken today. So, man, I think we're going to start. If we don't get some rain soon, we're going to. We may be hearing that D word, the drought word. Sabrina is at. Good evening, Sabrina. We're kind of doing the roll call, and I'm jumping all over the map in regards to topics. Sabrina's asking, "What is the news?" And Kimberly just kind of mentioned some of the big news that's happening in town. The Hallmark store is closing in the village. Let me go back to. Well, let's keep going on to the roll call. If you're listening and you want to shout out, post a comment and say hello, and I'll give you a shout out. Adam, good evening, Adam. Always negative. What's all? Am I being negative? I hope I'm not. I try not to be negative. Adam is saying, "Thank God it's closing." I don't know about. I'm not thanking anyone that any of our stores are closing. That's, yeah, that's unfortunate. Good evening, Don. How? Don is also sad about the Hallmark store closing. I'm not sure why Adam is happy that the Hallmark store is closing, but I'm hearing. Let me Bob is saying that the microphone is having issues. Okay. So our moderator is saying that there's no microphone issues on his end. So you might want to turn your volume up or do something. Can you hear me now? Sabrina is saying hard to understand you with the mic problem. So I just unplugged and replugged in. Apologies if you guys couldn't hear me there. Good evening, Elda. Adam is saying we all need new businesses in town. We need a refresh. And I'm going to disagree with you, Adam, because I think we should be supporting the businesses that we have, particularly during a pandemic. Laura's saying that she can hear me crystal clear. Adam is saying mic issues. I just unplugged and replugged the microphone. Apologies, guys. Getting back to thank God that someone is saying thank God the Hallmark store is closing. And again, I'm going to disagree with you, Adam. What kind of new small businesses do we need? The Hallmark store is a small business, locally owned. I apologize. I'm getting a little frustrated because, especially during a pandemic, why are we thanking God that some of our businesses that have been open for 47 years, the Hallmark store has been open 47 years. I'm not sure if you guys know the owner, Bill Saltzman. He's an awesome guy. A lot of teens. Well, I'm going to disagree with you again, Adam, because Hallmark may be a huge corporation, but it's locally owned. So, if you don't like them, then maybe you shouldn't shop there. Do you live in Castro Valley, Adam? I'm just curious to know, because if you look at the post in regards to the Hallmark store, there wasn't one comment of anyone thanking God that they're closing. So I'm going to disagree with you again, and I'm going to move on to I'm going to go back to the roll call. Good evening, Jake. Good evening, Matella. I hope you're doing well. Just bear with me. I'm going back to make sure I didn't miss anyone for the roll call. Eddie is mentioning trolls. I think Eddie. Good evening, Eddie. I think you might be right. So yeah, I'm hearing Roger is saying bandwidth issues. Audio is cutting in and out. So apologies to you guys. I have no control over that. Again, Adam is saying whatever revenue, not a small business. However, Adam, a lot of businesses are owned by franchisees, and Adam, you can't shop there because maybe you don't live in Castro Valley. That might be the problem. Kathy is saying I'm not hearing much. We're having a bandwidth issue here, so if you can't hear me, maybe refresh the page and come back and see if you can hear me at that point. Good evening to Tanya. Smiles from Forest Avenue. And I'm going to do this just like I do on every other show. I want to tip my cap to Tanya because she manages and oversees the community cupboard on Forest Avenue, and it's an amazing asset to the community. If you're not familiar with it, the community cupboard has a Facebook page. You can look it up and see what they're about. It's basically there's a refrigerator in the cupboard facing kind of the street, and it is stocked with tons of good food. And particularly, you probably already know this already, but during this time, there's a lot of people who need food, and it is remarkable the work that Tanya does to keep that cupboard stocked with great food. It's a wonderful resource if you haven't checked it out. If you have food that if you're maybe cleaning your cupboards, if you're looking to donate some food there, um, check them out. Again, the community cupboard on Forest. I apologize if I sound distracted because I am. I'm just trying to. I'm looking through the comments and I'm seeing some of the comments that are going on there. If I didn't mention good evening, Kathy, I'm sorry if you again, one more time, sorry if you guys are having, some people are having issues with hearing the show. It looks like it might be a Facebook bandwidth thing here. So I apologize if you guys can't hear everything that's being said. Moving on. Good evening, Adam. Adam just made a comment in giving a sorry. I'm reading comments and getting hang on one second, guys. Sorry, guys, I'm back. I was just going back and forth with our moderator on an issue here. No worries. Don Howe is giving a ton of applause to Tanya and the community cupboard, and I will as well. Okay, so we're going to pass some of these comments. Yeah, I'm easily distracted, Adam. Thank you. So there's a short list here of things that I can work on, that I would like to work on in regards to the show here, and I'm going to share them with you. Laura's asking any update on RiteAid. I've been busting my hump trying to get some information on that. I actually went in again today and I asked a couple of employees, and mum is the word in regards to that. And also, I have a contact with RiteAid Corporate, who is supposedly their public outreach person, and she has not responded to, I think, 5 or 6 voicemails that I've left for her so far. So I'm really trying to get some information on there. It looks, because I was in there today, it looks like they're not really doing anything in there, but they do have that, for the lack of a better term, wall of shelving that they have, dividing some of the store off. So I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm trying to get information, and as soon as I hear anything, I will definitely let you guys know. So the list of things that I would like to work on making the show better, I'm gonna share them with you. And some of this has actually been feedback from listeners and some people that I know. Number one, stop sniffing during the show. And I don't think I've done that so far during this show. And I'm gonna thank goodness for that. Less ums. Unfortunately, I think I've done about 10 ums already, and I apologize. Yeah, Bob is asking, where's Big Apple Records? Bad Apple Records. Where is Don? Is Don listening? Don is on every show. Don, if you're out there, comment. We'll give you a shout out. So number 2 on that list was less ums, which unfortunately I think there have been probably 15 ums already. There's another one right there. Number 3 on the list is the dead air at the beginning of the show. And I guess I can explain that best because sometimes when the stream is started and we start conversating, I'm not sure if I'm live or not. As we can tell with the weird audio falling out and coming back in, Facebook sometimes cannot be reliable. But I'm thankful for Facebook for that we can actually do this live show. It's pretty awesome. It's fun. The last suggestion kind of hits home. Stop being so silly. I don't know. That's okay. We should all be silly at some point or another. I wanted to mention our sponsor this evening. Now that I'm almost halfway into the show, not halfway into the show, we're a quarter into the show. Tonight's sponsor is Forester.org, and I've mentioned them before during the last show, and they're a local nonprofit. They have the goal of reforesting areas in Castro Valley and across the Bay Area. They're expanding. But I wanted to mention not just that they're our sponsor, is, well, they are a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities. You can learn more at their website, forester.org, Forestr.org. And they're not a big conglomerate or a big, huge, corporation. It's a local nonprofit, local people. You may have seen them at the side of the freeway picking up trash, which brings me to what I wanted to discuss with you. Is one of their organizers invited me out to kind of hang with them and see what they do in Castro Valley. And on Saturday, I had the pleasure of joining them at the freeway off-ramp, and I hung out with them for about an hour and picked up some trash. And it's going to sound corny, and you can comment that it sounds goofy, but it was fun. I had fun hanging out with people and picking up trash. And I'm just leading to this. If you'd like to volunteer, you can just go to their website, Forester, Forestr.org, and I believe there's something you can contact them and let them know that you'd like to volunteer. And this portion of the conversation in regards to what they do is not a commercial. I'm just telling you firsthand. I was out there with them. It felt good to beautify my town. It felt good to kind of walk away with almost full bag of trash of stuff that is at the freeway off-ramp. And these folks have a list of places that they go to, and oh darn, I just sniffed. So and I did sorry. But it's cool because you can go directly out in the community and beautify our community. And they're okayed by Caltrans, so Caltrans knows that they're at the side of the freeway. They have leaders for the groups that go out, and they'll let you know what you can and can't do, and of course they want you to be safe, so they'll provide you one of the orange vests and a hard hat and a bag and one of the, I don't know what they're called. They're those long grabby sticks. I think that's the technical term involved in nomenclature. And right there is a SAT word. Our family would call it a $2 word, but it's a nomenclature is a $2 word, and our moderator will find the definition of that for you. It just means it's a list of terms, nomenclature. But getting back, all silliness aside, getting back to, they're called pickers. It would be like a picker grabber. But getting back to going out, you don't have to stay an hour. You can go out there for a couple minutes, 20 minutes. I think I was out there for maybe an hour, and like I said, it was fun. It felt good to go out there and pick up some garbage. We were over by Burger Island. I'm not sure if you guys know where Burger Island. It's where Wendy's and McDonald's is, and we were at one of the freeway off ramps there, and totally cool. When we were out, there were, I think, maybe five of us. When we were out there picking stuff up, there were people driving by honking. There was a woman who kind of stopped and honked and said, "Thank you so much." So that is cool. Like I said, if you want to help them go out there and beautify some of the freeway areas and some of the other areas, give them a look, look them up and let them know you're interested in volunteering. For me, it was cool, and it may not be something that everybody wants to do, but some of the other folks in the group that I was with just kind of expressed that it makes them feel good to go out there and do a little bit of volunteering and put some blood, sweat, and tears into beautifying the area. And you probably know this already. There is no shortage of garbage on the freeway or the freeway off and on ramps, especially when it gets windy. It seems like all just sort of junk collects there. So again, if you're into that stuff, if you want to beautify our town, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to do that, give them a look-see. It is rewarding. You can go out on a Saturday and give them maybe an hour or 2 hours or whatever you're comfortable with, as long as the weather is good. This past Saturday, the weather was nice. Definitely rewarding. You might find some money as well. I did. I found some change, but it's just kind of mind blowing to see all of the garbage that just collects at the freeway on and off ramps. One more time, back to the commercial part. Forester.org, FORESTR.org, local nonprofit out there volunteering, doing good things in the community. I had fun. I'll probably reach out to them again and see if I can join them on another Saturday, maybe this Saturday if the weather is nice. Hang on, let me mark that off the list. That is off the list. And also, getting back to something that Kimberly brought up, unfortunately, Hallmark is closing. They've been open 47 years. Fura Bodyworks, the tattoo shop that is on, I think they're on Noons now. They are closing after, over 10 years being open. I will give you the spiel that I mention every show. Now more than ever, it's super important that we make a difference with how in how we spend by shopping local. Local businesses really are the backbone of our community. So, and a lot of the people who own and operate the businesses in our community live here or live close. So it's super important that we support them as much as we can. And yeah, when we shop local, we're really helping ourselves in a lot of ways. Let me cross that off. The store is closing. On the other side of the coin, we do actually have some businesses that are opening, that are coming. We have Beer Baron that are going to be opening up where Spanky's was on Baker Road. Also, a lot of people are excited about the Nick the Greek restaurant that's going to be opening in the Village. I haven't seen anyone there working recently, but they're coming, and I think they've also got some information in the window in regards to their hiring. So if you're looking for a job, Nick the Greek is hiring in the Village. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Nick the Greek in the Village, and also Beer Baron. I've heard nothing but people excited about the Beer Baron place, and they are a whiskey bar and a restaurant. So, and they all, of course, if they're serving whiskey, they will also serve beer. So we're kind of getting that brew pub that everyone has been longing for here in Castro Valley. I'm gonna cross that off the list. Wanted to bring something up in kind of associated with the post that was from the Castro Valley CHP, the driver that was doing, what was he doing, 140 or something? I don't want to miss. Yeah, driver was doing 141 miles per hour on I-580 with a suspended license. So on that post earlier this morning, there were quite a few comments in regards to drivers and driving in general. And I wrote a couple down that I wanted to kind of single out and discuss. So Diane mentioned that she had noticed more fast drivers since the COVID shelter in place. And she asked, has anyone else noticed that as well? And yes. It's ridiculous, especially at the onset of the shelter in place. People, it was like the Wild West out on the freeways, and people were just speeding like crazy. Slow down if you can, please, because you absolutely can slow down. What are your thoughts on that? Have you noticed more speeders, more people speeding since the COVID shelter in place began, what, a year ago now? The other comment that I had written down here, and this is going to spark some ire here. Melissa mentioned about the red light runners. And it seems like Castro Valley really has a problem with people running the red light. And I don't get it. Are people just in that much of a hurry? I mean, during a shelter in place, you could stop at a red light, right? I seem to see it almost daily in Castro Valley. And it's not like people are running the yellow light, it's red. And the opposite traffic, we have the green light, but there's still some straggler who's just buzzing by in the intersection. And it's not safe at all. Our moderator said lost his last car to a red light runner. Derek is mentioning give it a rest. Wait. Let me go to Bob. Bob says he has only driven 1,000 miles of the last year. He is glad not to be. He's not out enough to notice. So that's actually a good thing. Brenda is mentioning she has seen people run the red light to turn left from CVB onto Forest Avenue regularly. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I think that may be associated with people thinking that you can do a right on red when you can only do a left. Wait a minute. People are going left on red from CVB onto Forest. And legally, it's a right on red after you stop. And Brenda, I see that all the time. And like when I'm behind cars, they're doing a left on red. And it's like, what? It's a red light. Red light is a red light. And just today, heading on Redwood, there was someone making a turn, and it was clearly a red light for them. They just kept going. I saw it in San Lorenzo too, over by the Lorenzo Theater. Someone it's not safe. What if there's a kid walking in the crosswalk and you're just flying right through? anybody else have any thoughts or experiences in regard to the red light runners or just traffic in general? It seems like everyone on the boulevard is just in a gigantic hurry. And I know traffic is different on the boulevard now because we have the May market that's open, and they're killing it. They are busy all the time. We also have the marketplace, which can get busy as well too. And it seems like a lot of people prefer to park on the street, so the traffic is different on the boulevard now. But I mean, I think it's kind of intensified in regard to some of the people who are really I've seen people driving on the boulevard doing speeds that are like on the freeway, not the 141, not what that person was doing in that Mercedes. Brenda says people seem to drive right into the crosswalks before they stop to turn right, almost been hit as a pedestrian multiple times. We were just discussing that. I think 2 weeks ago, someone had mentioned that they were in the crosswalk by the ice creamery there, walking across, and the cars just creep into the crosswalk. And if there's people there, it's dangerous. There have been not too long ago there was a senior citizen that was hit in that crosswalk, and it just slow down. Um, I'm looking through the comments, and Bob is mentioning not at this forum, please, both of you. Yeah, guys, just be respectful in the comments. Yeah, there's a comment on this thread which kind of brings up another topic that I wanted to bring up, and I probably Bob is mentioning the left-hand turn from Santa Maria to CV to Castro Valley Boulevard is tough. Don't know how to change it. Yeah, that's actually the intersection we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. I mean, especially with the amount of kids that we have out on bicycles, and we do have a lot of foot traffic on the boulevard, which is great. That people will be going up and down the boulevard, shopping, shopping and visiting. Hang on, guys. Okay, sorry. I'm just looking through the comments here. Oh, there's another Actually, what's cool, guys, is there's a stream metrics on my screen when you go live, and yeah, it looks like the stream, the the problem with some of your audio maybe breaking in and out is the fact that the stream rate is kind of weak here. So hopefully that's not a problem. Like I said, if you're having problems hearing the conversation, try and reboot your screen or refresh it. Don is mentioning Lake Chabot Road too. A lot of fast drivers. Totally agree. Stanton was uh, kind of a speedway, but they did. I don't remember. I think just about every public entity did work on Stanton, and it's like they got speed humps, but they're not. They're dips, because it seems like every 2 feet someone was digging into Stanton, the block of well, all of Stanton, pretty much, but mostly the blocks of Stanton that are closest to Castro Valley Boulevard. And I remember a couple years ago, some residents on Stanton were trying to petition to get speed humps, and it was apparently there was some pushback between the first responders. I believe paramedics didn't want it, and I think uh, it may have been law enforcement. But there are dips in the road on Stanton now that pretty much prohibit you from speeding because it's a bumpy ride on Stanton. Annette, good evening. I think I may have missed you in the roll call. Good evening, Annette. I hope you're doing well. Derek commented. Good evening, Derek. Just going down the comments. If you are just tuning in, you want to shout out, I'll continue the roll call up to this point if you guys are interested. If you have a topic or a question or a comment, compliment, confession, you can text me 510-331-9112 and your topic will be brought up. If there's any other comments or observations in regard to traffic, red light runners, it's kind of interesting. I don't see as many people in Castro Valley bebopping with their cell phones anymore. So people must be getting the message in regard to being hands-free, but it seems like we need more of a message in regard to not running a red light. The speeders, it's going to happen. But these people running red lights, come on now. So good evening, Deborah. Deborah is listening. Good evening, Linda. And I'm glad you got to go to listen to the show. I want to give a huge shout out to Linda and Pete's Ace Hardware in recognition for their 95th anniversary. We're totally lucky to have, and this is not an advertisement. I'm singing the praises of one of our local businesses, Pete's Hardware. I don't know if you guys know all of the stuff, all of the things, all of the community enrichment that Pete's Ace Hardware does. It's amazing, and they don't do it for accolades or to be superstars or anything. They do it because they want to help our community, and for years, consistently, Pete's Hardware have done so many. They've contributed to so many fundraisers outside, and it blows my mind. If you go to one of the, I think a lot of the scout groups and kids sporting teams do barbecues outside of Pete's Hardware. Pete's Hardware pays for all of that stuff out of their own budget. They pay for the buns, the hot dogs, the soda pop, the chips. So all of that money goes to whoever is out there trying to raise funds for their organization. That's amazing. I never knew that. I think I brought that up during a previous episode. The people at Pete's Hardware are really, and it goes back to the conversation we were having about all of our local businesses. Pete's Hardware really exemplifies a great neighborhood, locally owned business. And from the bottom of my heart, I've known Linda at Pete's for a bunch of years going back to when I was with the forum. They're great people. I want to congratulate them for 95 amazing years in our community. Thank them, and thank you, Linda, for all that you do behind the scenes to make our community better. Best customer service in town. Great folks. Congratulations for 95 years in business to Pete's Hardware. Let me get back to the roll call. Good evening, John. Good evening. Oh, Derek. I said Derek. Good evening again to Derek. Good evening to, and I hope I say your name right, Fariba. Good evening to you. Oh boy, Bob's got a serious question. And I'm going to have to be honest and give you the full disclosure, because Bob is asking, do you follow all traffic laws on your bicycle? And the honest, straight answer is no. Because I've been bicycling for years, and it's really not realistic to do that, because there are times where cars come at you from every direction, and you're gonna have to go against traffic. Sometimes you have to be on the sidewalk. Sometimes you have to go into the street and jump an island. Uh, since we were talking about how cars run red lights, just the other day, a car was running a red light and almost hit me on my bike. I was going with the flow of traffic. Oh, darn, I just sniffed. That's on the list of bad things to do. Sorry. So, long story short, Bob, no, I don't. I don't follow all the traffic laws on my bicycle. Not particularly on purpose, but I honestly just want to stay alive, and I want to enjoy riding my bicycle. I ride fast. Uh, that's just the way that I ride. And again, last time, I don't follow all the traffic rules. I try to, but like I said, if you're not in a car, well, even if you are in a car, other people in cars don't. I don't know. We're just not. Some people just do a lot of creative driving. I'm trying to be nice with what I say. Getting back to the roll call, Karen Hart. Good evening, Karen. Karen loves Castro Valley. We love you too, Karen. Hopefully next year we will have a physical Cliff Burton Day. I know that's important to Karen and a lot of other people. Bob is mentioning another important subject. His granddaughter has sold 350 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, almost all through the virtual website, more than last year, which included troop booth sale credits. It's amazing. Someone asked us about the availability of Girl Scout cookies, and we shared a link, and it's going nuts. It's great though, because the Girl Scouting is nothing but good for these kids. Ray is sitting at Top Tie waiting for some grubbage. Thank you for shopping local, Ray. I appreciate it. Bob says he can't ride a bike at his age, but people going very fast on bikes down Redwood from the park frighten me. Redwood, yes. Some of those bicyclists frighten me as well, because they're moving faster than me, and I move fast. But Castro Valley is definitely a bicycle town. We lost a couple, but we've at many points in time, we have had many bicycle shops. And I'm sure you guys see a lot of the bicyclists, like Bob is mentioning, coming down from Redwood Road from the park. There are a lot of bicyclists who go into the canyons. There are a lot of bicyclists who are on Lake Chabot Road. Castro Valley really is, and I'm speaking as a bicyclist, Castro Valley really is just, the layout is just a fun town. There's a lot of downtown areas that you can ride fast. There's a lot of side streets that you can even go faster on. There's hills if you're into that. I mean, if you're into hills, you can go up and down 7 hills till the cows come home. It's wonderful. It's the topography here is that, I think that's a $2 word, topography. It could be, I don't know. The topography here is just fun for bicyclists. You can just, like I said, you can stick in the flatlands and go fast. You can hit the hills. However, probably the best city that I've been in on a bike is San Francisco, and that's a blast. Because San Francisco, like Castro Valley, really isn't that large when you think about it. A lot of the streets in Castro Valley San Francisco. A lot of the streets in San Francisco are really just, they lot of them really bisect the city itself, but that's a different story. Karen is mentioning Lake Chabot is the best place to walk. And Karen, Lake Chabot is also a great place to ride your bicycle. The hilly areas above the golf course are fun as well, but you have to be careful and be very cautious and mindful for people who are running and walking. I don't go up there because I ride fast, and I'm really really worried that I might hit someone walking because, like I said, I do ride fast and I do quite a few jumps. Ray is saying yes, his hometown. Thank you again, Ray, for shopping local. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking through the comments to see if there's any questions or topics or items that I should mention or address. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. Ah, yes, the third word of the day, topography. We gave you we have a link. John is asking. Oh, Karen is mentioning riders really need to call out more, and that's a big one. That's a huge one because people walking are not typically looking over their shoulder. They're probably looking forward in front of them and enjoying their walk. And a lot of bike riders, frankly, just are out there like I do. We're just, I don't know how, we're just hauling ass. We're out there to ride. We're out there to hit jumps. We're out there to, get our exercise. And as a bicyclist, I totally agree. Even on city streets, anywhere you're at, you need to call yourself out and let people know you're on your left, on your right, right behind you, because if you end up hitting someone walking, you're gonna look like a gigantic snickerdoodle. I don't think that's a $2 word. That's a cookie. But you're gonna look like a buffoon if you end up hitting someone because you didn't call yourself out or you weren't mindful of people walking. And like I said, I'm out on trails, I'm out on streets, and I like to move. I like to go fast. That's what the bike is for. So I stay off the trails, and even though they're a blast, but I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to end up hurting someone. I've seen it happen at other spots. I've seen it happen out on the I think it's the San Leandro Marina. It's near at the very end of Llewellyn. And if you're a bicyclist, go check that spot out. That whole area is beautiful if you're just going to be out there walking or whatever. But there were many times I was out on my bicycle out there, and I saw another bicyclist hit somebody, and it's like, ugh, it's not good. It's not fun. John is mentioning he is new to listening. John, welcome to the show. Would you please let me know more about me? And thank you, John, for tuning in. I never introduced myself, and I should more often. My name is Robert. I'm the editor for Castro Valley News. Been doing this for a bunch of years. Before that, I was with the Castro Valley Forum for over a decade. Previous to that, I worked at the Castro Valley Library. I've lived in Castro Valley a lot of years, and I love our town. I don't know what else to say. I love interacting with you guys on the show here. I think it's super cool that we get to kind of talk in a different way, and we get to exchange ideas and thoughts and topics that are on our minds about our town. I think the more that we talk about our town, the better we are. We all will be. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Um, oh, I missed some comments here. Sorry. Uh, Oh, thank you as well, John. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them as long as they're not super personal. Um, but yeah, I've been in news for um, a lot of years. I interned at a music magazine in San Francisco for a while and had a blast with that. The magazine offices were above a this was fun. This was a blast. The offices, it was called Bay Arts and Music, and the offices were above a used guitar and a used music shop. So there were tons of guitars and drums downstairs. So it allowed me to have a lot of fun, um, kind of uh, poking fun at the owner because poking good fun at the owner of the guitar shop because I would purposely, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you mind if I grab a guitar and just play it upstairs or whatever?" Go, "Sure, go ahead." I won't do an impression of him because it's tacky, but I can do his voice. He's an awesome dude. His name was John, and yeah, sure, grab a guitar. I would purposely, uh, I would purposely grab the most expensive guitar he had or the most expensive bass he had and bring it upstairs. So I would be up in the offices and I would be making noise on a guitar or a bass or whatever. And he would walk in. Darn, I just sniffed. Let me do a tally. I think that's 3 sniffs, and that's probably 20 ums, maybe 25. I'm gonna work on that because I know people get distracted by the weird noises that happen. But I would purposely grab the most expensive guitar that he had on the sales floor, and I'd just be upstairs twanging. And he would walk up and, "Hey, Robert, how you doing?" I go, "Hey, how you doing, John?" And he would stop and he would give me a double take and he'd go, Robert, that guitar's kind of worth 25 grand." And yeah, I know. I'm not going to drop it. I'm just playing it. So, yeah, that was fun. Anyways, that's a completely extravagant, uh, indulgent story that I wanted to share with you guys. But I've done a lot of interning at a lot of publications, and I have been in the news for quite some time. Let me go back to some of the comments here. Karen is sad to see Hallmark closing. Same thing here. I think it's sad. Bill is such an awesome guy, and it's interesting and to see the amount of people who have worked there. A lot of the teenagers, a lot of people who still work there. It's the village is changing a lot. I love the village. I'm in the village a lot, just because I like being there and I like the businesses that are there. But it's the village. I think was built in the 50s, and that center really was not built for modern times. And I think there's some growing pains there. There's some good growing pains. I think the center has. I think it's gracefully evolved. We still have quite a few mom and pop shops there. We still have a lot of cool independent businesses that are there, locally owned businesses like Eden Bicycles. I can't say enough about Chris and all the stuff that he does in the community. We have other, independent businesses like Aaron's Art Studio. If you're not familiar with Aaron's Art Studio, give them a look. They're actually a paint your own pottery shop, and there aren't a lot of those around. And Aaron lives in town. So does Chris Padovanam at Eden Bicycles. But I'm just complimenting here, the village and how they're kind of, gracefully evolving and making things work in a shopping center that was built in the 50s. It's actually pretty cool that they're essentially thriving. They are. I'm sorry, I'm just pausing because I'm thinking it's really cool that we have a a vintage, classic, rustic looking shopping center at the center of our town that is thriving. There's new businesses that are coming in, and uh, I think a good metric of how good a shopping center is the fact that eateries want to be there. And Nick the Greek is moving in. Mod, the pizza place, moved in. I just think it's great, and the clock tower is awesome. Every hour you get to hear the clock tower. It's just cool, and there are still independent places. I am sad. For me, the village kind of isn't the same now that the barber shop is gone, and Dryden Tide isn't there because I really miss the smell of potpourri when I'm walking through the village. It was kind of it was real it really it was part of the identity of the village that you would walk by Dryden Tide and you would smell the potpourri, or you would walk by Al's barbershop and see Al and all the guys in there. But you know, the faces may change, but I think the village is essentially the same. They've done some upgrades and changed some of the facades. Uh, it is it is improving, and I think the village has been really mindful and classy with the improvements that they've done. They haven't really done anything that's drastic that will really change the identity of that era of the shopping center, and I think that's cool. I think it's great. Dennis is also mentioning he's going to miss Hallmark. Let me. Sheila is saying the village holds a lot of great memories for me. Lived in Castro Valley from age 2. Wow, from 1949 till 71. Went to the clock tower at noon. Oh, the day she died. I'm sorry that that happened. But yeah, there are so many memories associated with that shopping center. And Karen is mentioning the bowling alley is fun. We're super lucky to have a bowling alley in our town that is open. Well, they're not open now, but it's still there. And hopefully, when we get back to that red tier, the bowling alley can reopen. I know Kimberly will be excited for that. I too will be excited. And hey, guys, with that said, Bob is saying Mel's Shoe Repair Forever, another independent business. Great, great local folks. With that said, I think we've burned about an hour. Well, I can go a little bit over because we started late. Can we do that? Kimberly is saying wooden. I'm not sure what wooden is. What is wooden? My delivery? The show is wooden, Kimberly? Yeah. Hey guys, if you have a comment, complaint, confession, text me 510-331-9112. Oh, oh, Kimberly said woohoo. I agree. Yes, woohoo. That the bowling alley might be opening soon, as soon as we return to that red tier. And leading, more importantly than the red tier, the COVID cases are down. All of that is, things, the numbers are down. Oh, I sniffed again. That's 4 or 5. Sorry. I'm trying to not do that. But hey, guys, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to this show that really doesn't have much structure. And uh, yeah, you guys are awesome. Please continue shopping local, supporting our neighbors, supporting these local businesses. They are the backbone of our community. Congratulations on your 95th anniversary, Pete's Hardware. You guys are awesome. Kimberly is saying she will be the first one at the door at the bowling alley. I'm sure they'll be glad to see you, Kim. And as always, guys, stay safe, be good to each other. If you know of a senior, or if you have a senior citizen in your family, please check up on them, check in on them. If you can, offer to run an errand, or just say hello to them, check in. A lot of these seniors are still staying home, and they're still staying sheltered in place. Let them know we care. Let them know you care. Thank you. Oh, Karen is asking, have I ever found a Castro Valley rock? And yes, I have. I found a couple. I know the person who does Castro Valley rocks. She is awesome. Her name is Kathy. And yeah, Karen's mentioning there are some talented artists out there. They are great. Linda, thank you for your endless and selfless support for our community. That's Linda Rourke at Pete's Ace Hardware. You guys, I sang your praises. I can sing them again. You guys enrich our community so much. Uh, Bob is mentioning Don Scialpi must be turning pro. I'm kind of amazed that Don hasn't tuned in. And with that said, hey guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Laura, thank you for the compliment. I wouldn't be able to do a decent job on this show if it weren't for you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys. Stay safe, shop local, give some love to the seniors, check in on them, give them a call, shoot them, not shoot them, shoot them an email, send them a letter, let them know that they are cared for and that they're not alone. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thanks.